Hi guys, I'm back. Been kind of busy lately, doing a lot of stuff, school, personal stuff, music. My sister moved in yesterday, and I've had tests and papers, and just started a new course now. Now we're talking about the words and thesauruses. For libraries like Medline and databases and how to use them and how they work and why we have them, and we're supposed to learn how to do those kind of things. So that's a lot of computer stuff. So it's more like when you get home from school, I still have to study, but it's not like I have to put myself into someone else's mind about a subject like democracy or capitalism. I don't know, but it's more easy. I don't know. Not easy, but it's yeah. Haven't been reading a lot, but I finished a book which I wanted to talk to you about a little bit, at least. And it's this one. Me Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. I picked this book for like a blog challenge, and this is the last month for that challenge. So I finished this one. It wasn't really difficult to read. I could have finished it the first week, but I just haven't really been feeling like reading a lot, and yeah. But this was pretty good. It was funny, like other people are saying it's really funny, but it's also sort of different in style, which I like, because it gave me another perspective on writing styles, and but basically it's about this guy, Greg Gaines. I think they're in high school. He doesn't like to get involved with people. He's sort of like, he doesn't eat in the cafeteria. He doesn't want anyone to specifically talk to him or like him because he doesn't want anyone to not like him. So he keeps to himself, and he does talk to all the different groups, but not so other people see him talking to someone in a special group, and that's really weird, because he doesn't have any close relationships, except with maybe this guy, Earl, who is his only friend, and they make movies together. So that's basically their relationship, and Earl grows up in a sort of bad environment. His mother just drinks and sits on the computer, and all his siblings are very violent. No one really takes care of them. But I really like his character. I feel like he's a strong person who just didn't get the best lot in life. And this girl comes in. It's not that much about cancer or this girl who dies. They don't really reflect on her dying that much, I believe. I wanted more about that. But the book is mainly about this kid who doesn't know what he wants to do, doesn't know who he is really. So it's sort of like I think the book is mainly about relationships and how to keep them and how to deal with that sort of thing when you're in high school, you're a kid, and you don't really know how to deal with things. And for Greg to basically being pushed to get to know this girl who he hasn't talked to since like 4th grade or something, I don't know. His mother sort of pushes him to go be friends with her, and she's basically pushing him to get into at least a friendly relationship with a girl who's dying, and that's sort of pretty mean, but I think he grows from that as well, and she does too. And this girl gets something out. I mean, they get friends, and Rachel, which is her name, becomes friend with Greg and Earl, and I think Greg's self-esteem builds a lot throughout this book and throughout this story, and I think maybe that's what the book is about. And there's a really nice quote that I liked in this book, which says a lot about relationships, I believe, and I thought I'd read it to you actually. So it's sort of halfway in the book. It doesn't really say much that you would spoil anything. I think just stop watching if you haven't read this book or don't like to know anything about books going into them. But yeah. Anyways, page 180. Then it was the end of visiting hours, and a nurse came in and told me I had to go. And if we're being honest, I sort of regretted that, just because I felt like I had done a mediocre job of cheering Rachel up and wanted to keep going for a bit. But if this makes me seem like a good person, it shouldn't. The reason was that cheering Rachel up was one of the things I had gotten really good at. And when you're good at something, you want to do it all the time because it makes you feel good. So if I wanted to hang out with Rachel, it was mostly for selfish reasons. And I believe that to be true in a lot of cases, especially among teenagers maybe. I do that sometimes, not intentionally, but I know that I'm being very kind, and I like baking stuff and bringing whenever I go to friends, or help out, because I like being nice to people, and I think I do it also because I like being appreciated. And that's not something weird. I think everyone wants to feel appreciated, but when I read that part, just like having it on a page, reading it like that, because I feel like that's how it is most of the time, and it made me think a lot, and I think other people should think about that as well, why they're doing things, and maybe why you are nice to certain people, or if it's for your own sake, or because you actually care about them. Because sometimes maybe you just tell yourself you care about someone and you really don't. You just do it because it's convenient. I don't know. This is way too sentimental. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. There are better books for teenagers and books in general. If I can show you one book that I like, I'd recommend this book, which basically everyone's heard of, I think, by now. It got a real uplift last year with the movie coming out and the new covers for books, and I've had this a long time. I read it my first time in high school, and I just reread this year, and I think it's amazing. It deals with so many different things and got so many different characters. I believe everyone could relate to someone or something in this book. Yeah, so this is my recommendation if you want to read something YA about growing up and about overcoming obstacles and just trying to become someone, because that's what it's about. And I think Me Earl and Dying Girl is about that too, but I didn't feel like the writing style made me like it more, just because it was so different. It was like movie manuscript-ish. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably not like it as much as I did. So read this instead, maybe, or read both. I don't. Yeah, your choice. And I just wanted to show you what I'm reading right now. Got tons of books at home. I borrowed loads from the library. I haven't bought any books, so I'm really proud of that. I've only bought CDs and t-shirts. This is from America. From a Sunbather t-shirt. From a band, Deaf Heaven, which I love. I've been to a lot of shows, so that's where my money's been spent recently. I'm sort of broke. Anyways, I'm reading this one. It's a Swedish book. This is apparently magazine, pocket size. I've never seen it before. But this is about poverty in Sweden, and mainly child poverty. So I haven't read that much, but it's different articles from the same author and letters from families discussing their problems, looking for help. And you're probably like, yeah, there's no poverty in Sweden, because Sweden is, yeah. A lot of people think that, but there's still people, maybe not suffering like other countries, but there's still kids out there who can't do certain things. Just because their mother is sick and can't go to work, or their parents aren't. I don't know. That's why I'm reading this, because I thought it was an interesting subject and I want to know more. So I don't really know that much, but I know there's people who are poor here, even here, and that just sucks, because that shouldn't be happening at all. Especially not to children, because children doesn't choose to be born. I think every child should have the same opportunities all over the world, actually, because children never choose to be born. They just are, and sometimes they just had bad luck.